All right, hey, Shalom. Glory bless nada to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashim Kakodas Bragato. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and much love, honors and blessings, salutations to the elect of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, which keep their conduct, composure, and integrity, ultimately showing wise discretion. All right, this is a topic I want to talk about, man. I actually made a video earlier. I didn't load it, but I listened to it, and I wanted to improve on it, and I apologize in advance for, not being able to read the scripture verbatim because I have no internet where I work, man. And when I'm driving home, I ain't got no service either. I work in the country, man. So anyway, so I'm gonna, spiritually rant. But, the premise of the last video was the destroyed behavior of Jake, and there was a small testimony that I gave that I had back in 2010. When I first came into this truth, man, I studied hardcore with the brother I was with down in Texas for like 6, 7 months, just straight, like, hermit type of, something must be wrong with this guy because he don't come out of his room type of studying. My grandparents, man, they thought I was going insane. And they thought they said I was in a cult. Every brother talks about that, man. Their siblings and loved ones, say they were in a cult. But now, man, I was studying, trying to, learn, and the spirit jumped on me to tell the brother I wanted to go out, and he was basically just waiting. He said he was waiting for the day for me to say it, and he said, all right, let's do it. But a couple years into the truth, I ended up by myself just for a little bit. Me and the bro, our routines, or not our routines, but like our schedules didn't line up. So there was one day I went out though, and I would, this is back in, when Jacob was having to learn that, niggas in the hood ain't gonna listen, man. The ghetto ain't the place you're gonna be at, you want to be at. But I was in the ghetto, and I was preaching right on the back side of a church. So there was times where even children, there was, kids or teenagers that were at youth group or some shit, badass kids, man. And they were throwing rocks at me and the bro, and the brother, man, he cussed them out. He read the story of Elisha. But, one day, man, I was out there, and, I got done, preaching. And these group of these thugs, man, which they were about that thug life and shit, man. They were getting high, smoking blunts, black and miles, like literally, the stereotype of Jake. And they were black. That's just to the bros, man, that watch the video, man. The ones that camp up here, man, we play with that because I'm Mexican and they're black, so-called black. But anyways, enough of that, man. But anyways, I'm walking, to go to my car. And these dudes stopped me, and they were just, like, what's up, boy? Like, what you doing? And I, the zealous spirit I had, not saying it's gone, but the fiery spirit I put on them, man, was straight up coming raw with them, man. I wasn't taking their shit. I thought it was, hey, don't be afraid, man. Show them the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So they were like, what you saying over there? Because we listen, but what you saying? And I just told him right off the bat, 2/3 of y'all people gonna die, man, because the behavior that y'all partaking in this side, man. And I said, it's time to wake up. And, the dude, man, the Jake, he had a blunt in his hand, and he lifted it up. He had it down at first, but then he goes, I'm awake. That's what he said to me. And I was like, well, so be it then. I was like, there's nothing I can do for you then. And I walked away. But I had a lot of hell in that area, man. I really did. I had an old lady, man, call me an FAG. Yeah, man. I had to fight against 4 churches, man. Anyways, at that time, man, the sentiment that I held against Jake, I was heavily reading about Paul and his, his path, the lot that he played out while being alive through the scriptures, man. And at that time, I was reading when he had, I can't remember what city it was. I want to say it was the city of Athens, man. And to the unknown God. And Paul basically got so pissed that he said, let your own blood be upon your own selves. You know, he didn't even waste his time, man. And, basically, I had previously heard from another brother too that he had gotten that mindset. So I got in that mindset. I said, fuck Jake, I don't even want to preach no more because of them. Like, fuck them. I didn't want to preach as far as like, I didn't want them to be saved. I still don't want them to be saved, man. I don't want, you already know. But you will understand that was the wrong mentality. You're supposed to tell them. And the reason I'm talking about this was because a brother made a comment, I think it was today, earlier, but he had, or maybe yesterday, but he had posted a video, and with the caption saying Jake is through. And I wanted to ask the brother, not to be an asshole, but I wanted to ask, how long are we supposed to say that Jake is through? And because I was thinking about it. Because sometimes, man, even to this very day, I'm like, man, fuck this place, man. Fuck Jake, man, fuck them. Man. They don't need to hear anymore as far as like, we have already sealed the 2/3 fate, man, through the Yahweh Shem Shai. We've read, Hosea 4:1. We've read all the scriptures through Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah 4:22, Isaiah 8:20, because we know the behavior is just not according to the light. Their understanding is wicked, it's dark, and so sometimes I would get that sentiment like, man, you ain't gotta tell them shit no more. But you really don't. You really don't, man. Jake has been given, man, brothers have said, man, they have no excuse anymore. Back when they had the vid lockdown, bros were making videos like, you got a lot more spare and leisure time now to study and research, to actually look at what we're saying and see if it's true, or to confirm or whatever. And they said that Jake ain't got no more excuse, man. Like, that was a period, that time of that so-called endemic was perfect time for you to repent. But Jake continued in what they were doing. You had a nigga that posted a sign, a billboard. He used his stimmy money to advertise getting a date. Like, man, Jake is foolish. They're sottish. Like the scripture said, like I quoted, they are sottish children. So they're incredibly stupid. But when it comes to actually hearing the truth, it's even worse. And so, like, back then, man, in 2010, after I'd been in the truth for a couple of years, I had thought, I would look at it, I would be like, man, Jake is wicked as hell. Jake is bugged the fuck out. And then we saw it in the process of time, man, up to 2022. And you just thought there weren't any more wicked things that Jake could, or there was no more lower that Jake could sink, But sure enough, Jake continues to decline, man, and decrease, dwindle away, and go after wicked inventions that, through the help of the so-called white man. But, it just gets worse and worse, and so then you come to the understanding of like, well, then now you understand why the Lord did say until the cities be desolate, because Jake needs to hear this to the very end. Because like I said in Isaiah the 28th chapter, man, though through stammering lips, and though we read these things over and over, yet was precept upon precept, line upon line, here little, there little. Yet shall it be known that the word was preached unto him, man. You, at the end of the day, man, even a mind of a person who scoffed is going to be without excuse, man. Like, to the utmost, there's going to be no wiggle room or even room for mercy when the Lord returns to destroy you 2/3, man, because you've had a hell of a lot of time to get right, and you don't. You got bitches giving babies blunts to smoke on, giving their dogs that shit, man working with beast, vice versa, this blah blah blah, the ABC, the enemy still being the enemy, and so I was listening to a song that a brother made. We got a brother in the camp. He actually produces beats, and he had a song called "It Ain't for the Weak," and he inserted Apostle Tahar's certain accounts on videos that Apostle Tahar made comments of how, like, the Lord, how you ain't got no time for no weak nigga or a sensitive ass person. But there was one part where Apostle Tahar said that, you 2/3 are gonna get the same judgment as Esau. And when I re-listened to it, I was like, well, of course, I mean, yeah, but the Spirit hits you all the time in different ways. I was like, damn. I was like, I mean, that's right. Jake is so fucking wicked, man. And the scriptures align that you are even more wicked than the wicked. You're desperate for attention. Well, that's what the word famous goes back to. Famous, I can't remember how you say it in the Latin, fame, or something like that. Salakia, man, for pronouncing it wrong, man. Salakia. I'll have to go back and look at it. But the word goes into an unquenchable thirst for attention. So Jake is notorious for being attention seekers, man. You bitches. I just gotta say that real quick, man. Salakia, I've just put up with enough of you motherfuckers, man. And like, y'all are fucking crybabies, man. Y'all are crybabies and y'all love attention, man. And y'all love to be wrong because it gets you the attention that you want. Yeah, I said that the right way. Because y'all know that y'all are wrong, man. Jake knows they're wrong, but they see people reacting to it, so they'll continue doing shit. And so, like, when the Lord returns, man, like Apostle Tahar said in that song, man, and he was livid with you motherfuckers, man. That's why the Lord is going to judge you just like Esau, because you're just like him, man. And when you actually go into it, that was the whole plan of the so-called white man, to make you like him. All right, that's why he promotes the shit that he does. That promotion is of what he's about, his image. That's all leading up to the MOTB, the charagma. Because when you take that device, which a majority of you are, I dare say every single one of you well, not, it can't be, because some of y'all are gonna die, So, but vast majority of y'all are gonna submit. This is something I was thinking about. The 2/3, man, are the weakest of our people. Y'all are the weakest of our nation, man. You ain't no thug. You ain't no true fucking thug, or gangster, or a fucking leader, of that, man. You ain't shit. You weak. You a weak ass dude, man. A weak ass woman, a weak ass child. That's why the Lord refers to you as worms. You're squishy. You're easy to squish. Like Loki said, what was it, Samuel Jackson in the first Avengers? What quarrel does an ant have with a boot? And that is the same way that it is to the Lord, man, pursuant to you 2/3, man. You a fucking ant. The Lord is coming with so many weapons, man. The scriptures tell you, I believe in Jeremiah 50 or 51, that he has opened his armory. Now it's directed towards Esau, but those weapons the scriptures say in Psalms, the 7th chapter, that he's prepared the instruments of death for the wicked, for the workers of iniquity. So he's got plenty of thoughts, and then to enact on you 2/3 when that time comes. And I was thinking about this, man, because I was meditating on music, and I was listening to certain music, how it was just promoting death. And as I turned on the radio, as I'm driving home from work, a fucking song with Nicki Minaj, man, which it was an old time song, but she's using the beat to talk about sucking on a dude's rod. Like, come on, man. But I was thinking about how, like, Jake cleaves to that shit so fucking fast. But the scriptures say that all things are to the Lord. So really, it's the Lord directly having you fall into those traps of death, get sucked into the ways of death, to the behavior of death, because he don't want you to be saved. That goes back to the delusion back in 2 Thessalonians. The Lord don't want you to get this understanding. So he keeps you occupied with the fucking things of this world, man. Because you deserve it. Because you are the weakest. All right? You 2/3 are not real women. You're not a real man. You're not a real son. You're not a real daughter. All right? You are the weakest and you're the most wicked. And that's why the Lord, that's why you said in Matthew, that there's going to be a day that burns in the oven, where all things that offend are going to be cast into that fire. And y'all are the ones who fit that criteria. I was listening to was it Apostle Gabar? I believe he was going, I can't remember what he was going into, but I listened to it today. So like, man, I watch a lot of things, man, and I meditate on a bunch. But anyways, but he was going into the law. Oh, it was Romans. It was always over Romans, the second chapter, the 28th verse and the 29th verse, I believe. It was a response to Apostle Tahar's video he did yesterday. But he was going into how our strength and our wisdom is the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And that's what gives us strength. You 2/3 wicked ass niggas, man, and you bitch ass, you know, you women, you ain't even no goddamn woman, man, but you know, you whatever, man. Y'all ain't got the strength. You know, and one thing I mentioned about the video that I made earlier, one thing I mentioned in it was that you ain't been raised up in proper values, man. Proper morals. You don't possess integrity. You don't have discretion. When you look up discretion, it goes into a particular behavior that you exhibit so that you don't offend. And you offend like a motherfucker to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And I even mentioned in that video the premise, the reason why I was making it, because I gotta observe one of these Jakes in my job, man. He's the only other Jake besides me. But this dude is so fucking desperate that, man, he's so desperate to get a twinkle in the Edomite's eye, man, that he's just a little bitch. He's a sissy. Like, I'm not even playing, man. Like, if it was spiritual, man, it'd be borderline, you know, ABC. And he's got this soft ass voice, man, and Christianity has just sissified the shit out of him, man. Like, for real, he's a beta ass male. And it's to a point, man, where I told him, and he didn't say a fucking word to me today, man. I told his ass yesterday, don't fucking come to me with that shit no more, man. Like, I said it just like that. I was like, don't fucking talk to me about that shit anymore, man. Like, for real. Because dude is, man, y'all just resist. Here it is, this dude didn't know shit about his belief. He does not know shit about what the Bible is talking about, except the things that Christianity has taught him. And the thing about Christianity, man, Christianity was designed or was created to be a submission doctrine. It was created by Esau, man, to have you Jakes submit to him, to worship him. And so these scriptures about Jesus is life, God is just, you know, it doesn't matter how you don't have to prove it. It's just God is all, you know. That gives me nothing to cultivate my spirit with, so I can walk in a particular way through harmful times. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man, gave us a way. That's why he said in Proverbs, the 1st chapter, man, to give the young man knowledge and subtlety, discretion. All right, and Christianity does not give that. All right, and Jake, whatever doctrine they may, you know, cleave to, every single doctrine outside of the truth is going to get you killed. All right, every single doctrine, and that's not even trying to be, you know, well, what makes it special about your doctrine? No, man, the time of trying to play that card is fucking done, man. Like I said from the beginning, you 2/3, man, you had enough time. All right, you have had enough time to get right and to get understanding. You know, back in 2000, I think it was 2014, or maybe, man, I can't even remember. I think it was like between 2012 and 2016. I'll give it that. There was one Saturnalia month. You already know what that is, man. I was watching the video of the videos of the brothers in Dallas, and Yashawama directed the camera to 3, you know, grown ass Jakes posing in front of a Christmas tree, so-called Christmas tree. And you know, Elder Yashawama was like, he's like, here it is in 2012. You still got grown ass niggas posing in front of Christmas trees. He's like, you can easily. He's like, how do you not know the fucking truth? And you got the use of the internet. You could go on the internet and type it in, and it will tell you Christmas is a lie. All right. You can easily find out that Christmas ain't fucking real, but you'll celebrate it. And then your last excuse is that, it's for the kids. Salaka, man. I've been, trying to overcome death this entire day, man. Salaka. But, Salaka. I can't bring no napkin in here. But anyways, but like I was saying, that's just an example of how there's no excuse. That's all I can say. And I wish I could just sit here for another 5 minutes to say there's no excuse. Back to back. Like, really, man? The Lord, man. And it wasn't even for your benefit. It was just to show that, the Lord's power and control and ultimately his will, that it don't matter what we want. It don't matter, and it don't matter how much we speak to these people. They're not going to listen. Isaiah the 1st chapter said, man, then why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. It doesn't matter, man. Nothing will help anymore. And I love making that comparison that Jake is about, loves to be a thug, whatever, man, having a puffy image. And man, that shit, man, they claim they love to fight, but getting the ass whooping don't even work anymore, man. Jake's gonna wake up the next day, have missing teeth, try to find a way to get some inserts or whatever you call them. I don't know what to call them. And he's gonna continue right on the fucking path that he left off from. It's not enough. Nobody questions, like it says in Jeremiah the 8th chapter, no man have said, what have I done? It says that they returneth as a horse runneth into battle, back to their iniquity. So, ain't no more, no preaching, no exhorting, no admonishment is gonna help these 2/3 come out from the wicked mindsets that they hold to. The behavior that they practice is gonna be what they stand upon to the very end. And man, there was a word that I was going over the other day when I did a video, but it was talking about a practice behavior. Man, I wish I could remember it. But anyways, man, what word was it? A practice of behavior. Man, oh, customs. That's what it was. The word customs. So why do you have about Shemiel Shai? But because it goes into the heathen had customs. But when you look up when you look up conduct, or if you look up there was a word that was in reference to Israel and their ways, the pattern of living that they live. But when you look up customs, it goes into a practice of behavior. The behavior that y'all took from these heathen, that you hold to, that you believe so much that you're supposed to be here doing every day, waking up, fucking a bitch, watching videos of bitches twerking all day, being speedy to go get some ass. Hey, man, that shit, man, is not going to get you anywhere, and ultimately it's going to get you destroyed. You were caught up in all that. So, it really, at the end of the day, fuck Jake. They had enough time, and we don't feel sorry for these people, man. The spirit had enough time to bring out scriptures like in Jeremiah, where it talked about, pray not for these people. Shit. Well, now you know why, man. They don't want to be saved. There was a song by Chameleon there called Pimp Mode. And at the very end of it, you got this black chick talking to Chameleon there. But he's talking about saving a hoe. And she says at the end, save me? I don't need you to save me. And he's like, oh yeah? She's like, yeah. She's like, and you said you a pimp? P-I-M-P? You know what that means to me? And he's like, what? Paper in my pocket. Jake is just, especially these bitches, man, they're just about trying to get a dude, with money, and the dude is about getting money and bitches. So, yeah, man, this lifestyle is not going to go away, because this is all that's promoted this time. And you weakest of our people, 2/3, you succumb to the devices of the devil. All right? Easy, quick. And so for that, you're going to pay the same punishment as the devil. It tells you, man, that in Proverbs 17:4, that a wicked doer giveth heed to false lips. One of my favorite scriptures, man. And then you got in Ezekiel, where it I can't remember exactly what chapter, but it talks about, you know, these wicked pastors amongst our nation, but, you know, aiming it towards how anything in general that you listen to that's not of the truth. Scriptures say, man, that the one who spoke those lies and the one who listened are both going to bear the same punishment. So it aligns. So Esau's a liar and you're listening to a liar, you're going to receive the same punishment as a liar. All right? So, you know, hope this was edifying, man. Again, you know, Salakia that I have those scriptures to actually really bring out. Lord willing, you understand, you can find the scriptures that I spoke about. Lord willing, you know, spiritual. But, hey, man, Jake is through. Like that brother said, Jake is through. And it's our job to tell them that they're through to the very end. So, you know, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, Barakathum. Double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. All right, peace and much love. Honors and blessings, salutations to the elect of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathum. Kwamesha Allah Shalom.